This is about the third time I've seen this buck in this private field where it's closed to hunting. And I was driving along going to a new spot, and he crossed the dirt road into this private field coming from the desert. So I decided the next morning, I was up in the desert wash in my tree stand, which happened to be about a 30-foot tall palo verde tree. And I was only about 10 feet off the ground, which is plenty enough in the desert. Hoping to catch the deer either going to the field or coming out of the field back into the desert where they like to bed down for the day. This ended up being a pretty quiet morning. I didn't see any does or fawns, and certainly didn't see that buck. But I saw their tracks on the trails, so I know they've been going through this desert cut into that private field. But nothing showed this morning. After about 3 hours on stand, it's getting to be about 9 o'clock, so I climbed down from the tree stand and I'm headed back to the truck here to give Luna a little walk and a little break. It's pretty steep going up and down these little ridge lines down into the arroyos where the desert washes. Not only is it steep, it's very noisy with your boots on. I put in a pretty good morning. It's pretty cold, right around the freezing level of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And I had walked into my tree stand here in the dark about an hour before. Back at the truck, another hunter on an ATV stopped and talked with me a bit and told me of a big 3-point that he think he wounded back in the desert wash. So I took Luna out with me and we went to look down through that wash where I saw the ATV come out of, see if we could find the blood trail. The hunter told me that if we found the deer, he's a local hunter that I know pretty well, and I would text him and let him know that we found the deer. So we're working our way up this ridge and down another, where we come across this herd of feral donkeys. These feral donkeys are pretty wild. The wind here is just gusting. As you can see, the bush is just shaking near the ground of the desert floor. The wind here is blowing a steady 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 40. I have the microphone with a muffle, and even the muffle isn't preventing the wind noise from getting on the video. But this herd of donkeys moves past us here at about 80 yards. And the thing about these feral donkeys is they're incredibly hard if you try to stalk them. So I know I've got the wind right, I've got the sun right, and the wind is hiding the sound of my footsteps. I'm able to sneak up on these donkeys so close. Down the ridgeline, Luna and I go as we're headed back toward camp. We never did cut a blood trail, even though the hunter told me where he last saw blood. And Luna can sniff out a deer pretty easily. You can see her down below me here. She's about 80 yards below me, down in the desert flat. And she's looking around. She's pretty interesting, but the donkeys are a bit of a distraction for her, so I have to keep a close eye on her. As we're coming up the ridge to go back to the truck, we come across another few of these feral donkeys. You can see they're very curious. The wind is really ruffling the fur on the hide of these beasts as well. Again, the wind is just gusting through this desert wash. It's holding constant though, but it's a pretty stiff breeze at 25 miles per hour. The gusts still feel the same. Feels like it's gusting about 40. And with these donkeys at 60 yards, I wonder if that were a big 4x4 buck, could I even get a shot to fly in this wind? Or at least fly somewhat straight to the target? I seriously doubt it. It's a very strong breeze. Hello everyone, Mav Hunter here. And this morning I didn't see a single deer, not even a doe. I was working a different area, some bigger washes that are a little closer to more of the hunting pressure in this area. And saw a lot of ATV tracks on the finger ridges and down in the gullies. So I think these two big washes have had a lot of pressure this year. So maybe that's why I didn't spot any deer. But so I'm having a snack bar and drinking the last bit of my water. Let's see, I've got 12 ounces left. So during the 3 hours this morning, I drank 20 ounces. Like I said on day 4, make sure you have plenty of water with you, and I have more water at the vehicle when you're hunting the desert, because even though in the morning it's cold, like 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees, somewhere around there, it's still easy to get dehydrated, you know, hiking these flats once that sun comes up and hits you. So make sure to have plenty of fluids with you. Anyway, I'm going to finish the snack bar, this drink, and head back to camp and get a hot lunch, and then figure out my plans for the afternoon. But that's hunting in the western desert. Sometimes you got to cover several miles to locate these mule deer, and I'm working about a 5 to 7 mile stretch that has probably 10 or 12 washes and ridge lines through it. So I think I'll head back south where there's a lot less pressure, where I've been seeing the deer, and I saw some small bucks and saw one shooter buck, nice 4x4 that would go about 180. So I think I'll be concentrating the rest of my hunt down a bit south where I've been seeing the deer. And the other big point is I didn't see any ATV tracks or on the ridge lines, or I didn't see any ATV tracks in the washes down south. So that's probably where the deer are there. There's no hunter pressure. Luna, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? Come here. Good girl. Good doggers.